Today's video is an absolute banger. Now, a few months ago, I did a video 25 best pro angles on Siege, and due to the massive amount of support, you guys went into the comment section and spammed for a part 2, and here it is finally. Now let's aim for 500 likes on this video. I promise you're going to want to learn these angles. It will help you in improving and getting your rank up to that rank that you want before the end of the season. So without me talking anymore, let's dive in and get started. So we're here over on Coastline for this first one, located just off of the ruin spawn. You can actually get up on top of ruins and use it from multiple angles inside of the building. So you just need to jump up on this little concrete half wall and then wiggle your way up to the top of that next little bit right here. And then you just need to drop down a small bit off the ledge, looking towards the building across the way from you, and you can run and turn to your right and vault onto the ledge. This is the hardest part right here. You just need to kind of move out to your right and push up to the left, and you'll be able to push your way up on top of the wooden beams. Now up here you have so many angles into billiards window, through the hookah rotate. You can even walk across to the concrete and see all the way down to VIP door, and you can also look at aquarium door and the window towards the top of white stairs. There's so many possibilities with this angle, so it's definitely one to try out, but I will say it's a difficult one to do, so it's going to take some practice to pull it off. Now moving on to the next one here, taking us over onto Villa. This is in the 90 hallway at the second floor. So just over here where these two chairs are in this pod, if you shoot a hole in the floor just next to the drone hole, and you can make it as long as you want so it's easier to see down the hallway, and this will actually allow you to see all the way down into that mudroom right by the window where attackers will be pushing into the building. This is a really strong one, and I'll show you from the other perspective as to why this is such a strong angle. Now of course there is the risk of someone rappelling on that window upstairs, but you just have to be careful of that. But you can see where the bullets are hitting here, almost right in front of that window. But the really good part about this angle is because of the door frame and the arch inside the room in front of you, it's actually really difficult to see the hole in the ceiling. So they'll push in, and by the time they've walked towards the door, they will have already been seen and killed in action. And moving on to the next one here, inside the vault on the second floor, right in front of this cabinet here, you can make a simple hole in the floor and you'll be able to watch that red hallway down inside the first floor. Anyone coming into that main lobby and making their way down that red hall, again, because of the positioning of this hole in the floor, it's really difficult for them to see it as they're coming down the hallway. By the time they've seen it, you'll have already seen about half their body, so you will have gotten plenty of shots onto them even if they do survive the engagement. You can see where the bullets are hitting here right on the door frame, and they cannot see the angle until they're pushing down the hallway, so it is a really good angle to have prepped early on in the round. Now we're going to move on to the third angle here over on Villa, and this is inside the games room right next to the billiards table, just off of the left side of the leg here. You can make a hole in the floor. Again, you can make it as long as you want to make it easier to see this angle, and you can see the door just off of library out towards the bathroom dining area. It's a really strong angle again, so if they're deciding to push in that bathroom window and make their way into library, you can catch them completely off guard. These are great angles to prep early in the prep phase, so that if you know and you get callouts from your teammates, you can quickly run to these little openings and get picks for your team. Now you'll see here from the other perspective where these bullets are hitting right on the door frame here. They will not be able to see this angle until they've actually approached the door frame into library. So again, you have the advantage from using this angle. And moving on to the next one, and this one takes us over on to Chalet. This is a really nice angle here just on the library window. So if you rappel up and break open the window, and then right where that picture frame is on the white wall, if you shoot an ash charge onto that and then a second ash charge onto the wall beyond that, you'll be able to see all the way through to the piano door. So normally there'll be a lot of defenders holding piano, like peeking out, trying to kill anyone on top mez or anyone pushing out of the library door, and you can catch them off guard and cover your teammates as they push into the building. You can see where the bullets are hitting here, so it's a really strong power position for the attackers to hold off any defenders peeking at that door. So we're going to move on to the next one now, and this one keeps us on Chalet inside the bathroom. This is one that I love to use, especially if you know there's no one outside the window. If you jump up onto the ledge of the jacuzzi, you can run out onto the window ledge. Now it'll take a couple of tries, especially if you're a heavier operator, but you can sit on the window ledge, break open the window in that hallway coming down towards the piano door, and you can see all the way across into library. Now of course, library is a really high traffic area, so it's a great position to be in, as a lot of attackers will be coming out that doorway into the hall. You can see where the bullets are hitting just off of that window. So as they push in here, you'll immediately be able to get into an engagement and pick them off and help your teammates secure the round. Now we're moving over onto Kafe for this next one. This is one of my favorite angles I've been using for a very long time. Inside the freezer here, if you stand up on top of the counter here, you can actually run and vault up on top of the ledge. Now it will take a couple of tries. The vault prompt is a little bit all over the place, so you just have to practice. Standing on the side of the barrel definitely helps in getting the vault prompt a little easier. So if you just kind of back up onto that and then run, you'll be able to vault on top of the ledge. You can then make holes over the top of the reinforcement, and as attackers are walking down the hallway heading towards VIP out that doorway, looking all the way down to Whiskey, you will be able to pick them off as they make their way through. You can also watch the top of White Stairs. It is a bit more risky because they will be at head level with you as they come around the top of that stairs, but again, it is a really strong position to be in. You can see where the bullets are hitting, and again, if they turn around wondering where they're getting shot from, they won't be able to see it unless they crouch. So again, it's a really good one to use. Now this is one outside in Whiskey. Now this is a risky angle because you're out in the open, but if you prep it early on and maybe you're a roamer and you're coming back and you have your teammates telling you that there's someone coming down red stairs or coming up from small bake, or even someone sitting on that coat room door, you can make holes in the side of the cabinet here. You can do this anywhere you like, by the way. It doesn't just have to be exactly where I'm showing you here. You can make holes at different points. You'll just see less and less as you move down the unit. So what you can do is just by breaking holes here, you can make smaller ones too to make it more difficult for them to see. But if you lay prone, you can see just out into the small bake door, and a lot of people like to jump in that window and peek right at the edge of that door frame. So it's a really good one to catch them, and especially if they're coming down that red stairs. You can see where the bullets are hitting right on that little pillar at the end of the staircase, all the way down towards the back small bake wall. So it's a good angle, and I'd advise you to check it out. And moving over on to Clubhouse here, inside of Gym, this is a really strong angle, used a lot in the Pro League. So what you can do here is if you break open the hatch, you can just about see over the top of that wall all the way down to the main stairs of the building. It's again a really strong, very difficult for the attackers to just turn around and see where you are. You can also use this from an attacking perspective too. If you're clearing top floor, you can open that up and watch any defenders trying to sneak up that main stairs. You can see where the bullets are hitting. So again, it's a really strong angle for both attack and defense to be using. Now this next one is staying on a Clubhouse. This is inside the stage area. This is just a really good, safe way to get angles down inside of Armory. So if you open up this wall just off the stage here and then make holes in the floor exactly where I've pinpointed, you can open up the walls inside of Armory down below. So if you have any defenders sitting in those corners waiting for someone to drop the kitchen hatch or coming in from dirt, you'll be able to watch any single defender sitting down inside of Armory. You'll be able to push them completely out of that room, allow your teammates to drop that hatch and plant right behind the crates down below in that default plant spot. So this is just a really strong power position again for the attacker to hold, especially if the diffuser gets down. Now another really good part about this is the fact that you're still on the concrete ground while you're doing this, so they can throw a C4 up and pick you off, and you'll be able to see here from the other perspective where these bullets are hitting that corner that a lot of defenders like to sit in sometimes, or on the back side of Armory. Again, really strong for holding them off as you're pushing towards the objective. Moving on to Canal for this next one. This is located inside Radar, right next to that little red pillar on the wall there. If you make a hole in the floor and then a hole in the top of the wall downstairs, you can see onto the bottom of red stairs and the hallway heading down towards the green staircase. So you can really have good control over stopping attackers making that push in from the first floor and making their way up the red stairs. Now the good thing about this, you can see from the other perspective where these bullets are hitting, and again, it's going to be difficult for them to see, especially if they're coming in from that outside entrance just there and they come down towards the bottom of the stairs. They can't see that little angle you've opened up. They can see the holes in the ceiling, but they can't see where you're sitting. Now this is another angle to actually cover the green stairs, so if you had someone sitting on this angle and one sitting watching the red stairs, you have really good control over stopping the attackers making an inside push rather than opening up the main wall. So over in the corner of the room, you just shoot open the floor and shoot open the top of the wall down inside the break room, and you can see the entrance coming in from the green stairs and the staircase itself as well. Now because of where you've made the holes on the wall down below, they actually have to crouch to be able to see where you have created this angle, and by that time they've already been picked off. And moving over onto Skyscraper for this next one. So recently they made a change to the Dragon here. They added a little bit of a ledge on there, but what you can still do is get a pixel angle on it. You just need to move a little bit further back by sitting on the edge of the staircase. You can see under the leg of the Dragon out onto that terrace door. So it's a really strong position to just sit in. You can look right through that little gap and you can see where the bullets are hitting. So if any attackers are swinging from that outside hallway, you'll be able to pick them off before they even enter into the building. Now this next angle does require a specific operator. You need to use Goyo for this, but the amount of angles that this gives is insane. So what you need to do here is by jumping up on the ledge, making sure don't break the glass on the TV, and if you can place a Goyo canister in the top left corner of the TV, you'll actually be able to vault up on top of the ledge. Now what you need to do is move to the left and make sure you drop down a little bit so you're kind of right on the ledge. And then looking just a little bit underneath the canister, you can vault on top of the ledge. Now once you're up here, you have endless angles. You can open angles in the right wall to look through Dragon all the way towards Shrine. You can also open up the wall to the left, right in the top left corner, and you can see all the way out the drum. But not only that, you can open up the holes into Geisha. So if they're opening up that single wall and pushing in from that side, trying to clear the way they're across to the bomb site, you'll be able to pick them off. You can also open up the wall right next to you and you can see the main breach into the bomb site. So it's a really strong, really good angle to try out. And especially you can see here from this perspective, when they come through that single wall, they cannot see that angle whatsoever. So it just is such a strong one because you immediately have the advantage as they make their way into the building. And moving on to Consulate for this next one, this is upstairs in the second floor reception. Simple, but again, highly effective angle to use. So just off of the red carpet there, if you shoot a small hole in the floor, you can see right onto the bottom of that spiral staircase. Now, again, it's such a simple angle, but highly effective. You can also see the door heading down to that Visa hallway. But again, you can just sit here. If you get a call from your teammates on cam that there's someone making the way up spiral, you can use that angle to pick them off without having to get into any engagements. Now on the other side of the room, you can do the same thing for the lower spiral staircase, just opening up a small hole in the floor. Again, you can watch the staircase, really a strong power position to sit behind the reception desk and use both these angles. You can see what it looks like from the enemy perspective here. They will obviously see that one coming up the spiral staircase, but the one on the left side over here by the Visa Hall, because of the door frame, by the time they've reached the door frame, they still don't see the angle. And if they're walking through pretty quickly, they're not going to pay attention to that. They're going to immediately head for the staircase and you can pick them off. Now this is kind of like an unorthodox angle, and a lot of people like to set up this site very differently. Some people might reinforce one side of the wall or the left side of the wall. So what you can do is just basically by making head holes in all of those walls and then heading back down inside of admin and opening a small hole in the corner here just off of the break room kitchen area, you can see all the way through into the CO office. Now it's a small pixel angle to see in there, but you'll see where the bullets are when I show the other perspective. But again, you can watch anyone who's making their way into the bomb site. It's a good little power position to be in, especially if you know that there's no attackers trying to push into admin. You can sit back here and get some really good picks. And moving over onto theme power for this next angle, I just showed this in my last video, so I'm adding it in here just to include it with this two-part series of up to 50 angles. So in the top of Dragon, like I said in the last one, you just make a hole right in front of that light and you can see down into the gong area as they're making their way into the building. They'll be pushing through the door frame heading down towards maintenance, and you can pick them off. And again, because of the door frame inside of gong, they won't be able to see the angle, and because of the way you're positioning, you'll be able to pick them off before they even see where the hole is. Again, a strong angle to use, and you can team it up with the drone hole one, if you remember, inside the bathroom on the second floor. And moving over, again, staying here on theme park, but moving over into the spawn area. This is a really good spawn counter. I don't think many people know about this. Loads of people love to spawn peek those windows, whether it's barrels or up inside the break room. What you can actually do is you can literally just, as you're coming off the spawn, you can look at this metal fencing in front of you, and if you lay prone, there's a tiny pixel gap in the side of the fence, and you can just peek slowly onto those windows, and they won't be able to see you as you're laying prone here, and you can pick them off, and they they will be completely shocked when they see the kill cam. This works for all of the windows, including the one on the bottom of barrels. So again, a really strong angle to just catch them off guard. These are the kind of angles that you want to know about, especially when this is such a common place to get picked off when you're not paying attention. So remember this one for future matches on Theme Park. Now heading over onto Nighthaven for this next one. Simple again, but highly effective angle for watching the electrical door, which again is a high traffic area. People open up the IT breach and then they try and push through electrical as well. So if you have control over warehouse, you can sit out here having those walls reinforced, but with that one wall that you leave for head holes, and you get a nice little pixel angle onto the edge of the doorway into electrical. So again, a strong power position, stopping them making that heavy push through electrical. You can see where the bullets are hitting. So you're going to want to know this one for future games on Nighthaven. Now this next one keeps us on Nighthaven. This is like a spawn peak pretty much, it literally is. So what you do here on top of warehouse is just jump over the railing onto the crates below, and then if you make a hole, and you can make it a smaller one so it's less obvious to the attackers, but if you want to make a bigger one so you can see more as they're pushing off of the helipad. Now because of the elevation you're at sitting on these crates, as they're walking across the helipad, it's actually very difficult for them to see you laying prone up here. They're going to see the holes, but they'll barely be able to see you unless they crouch in this position. So you can see where the bullets are hitting. It hits all the way to the back of the railings behind the helicopter. So by the time they've even come out, that propeller on the side of the helicopter is actually blocking the view a little bit. So by the time you've even pushed out, you will be picked off by the defender. Now onto Outback for a really good drone hole angle here. So if you rappel up the side of the building here onto this main bunks wall and shoot out the red suitcase underneath the drone hole, you'll be able to see all the way through to the laundry door inside of the bomb site. So if there's anyone sitting in there peeking out, especially if you've gotten the wall open as well, you can pick them off and they will be so confused again when they see the kill cam. You can see on the drone here where the bullets are hitting. They're hitting on the bunk, they're hitting on the soft wall all the way inside of laundry. So again, a really good angle, and it's a safe angle too. It's very difficult for them to counter this, as if they lay prone, you're going to see it pretty obviously. Now this next one, again, a simple one, but I love using this one. I've gotten so many pics of any flankers trying to make their way back towards the bomb site. So just by opening up this ramp window here into garage and shooting a hole above the lockers, you can see all the way in towards Bull. So you can watch any flankers trying to make their way back and pick them off. You can see where the bullets are hitting. So again, a strong angle if you're making your way towards the bomb site and you have someone to watch your back. Now onto Oregon here for this attic angle. So normally you would use Maverick maybe to open up a small hole to push into attic here, but what you can actually do is you can stay out and watch down the side behind this little kind of blue covered tarp, and you can see all the way down to the bottom of the drop off. So if there's anyone sitting down here peeking it, they're normally going to be peeking to the right of this kind of blue tarp rather than to the left. So as they swing out, you'll be able to pick them off, and this can also be used from the defender side as well, so it works in both situations. Now this last angle takes us onto bank. This is a really risky one, I'm not gonna lie. It's very advanced and also very risky, but it is a fun one to try out, and if you can pull it off and get some pics with it, it's definitely a clip. So what you can do is you come all the way to the edge here, just following the steps that I did, jumping onto the vent, and then wiggling back and forth, you'll kind of like propel yourself off the building and land onto the ledge. Now you lose a little bit of HP. I know I have 35 HP in the clip, but that's because of my settings for custom games. But basically you drop onto this ledge and you can watch all the way down Janitor Hall. You can also open up the windows. If your teammates get the wall open, you can watch all of the bomb site as well. It's a really strong angle. I will advise you when you're dropping down to drop down onto the foam boots below, also you'll actually die if you fall off the building. But you'll see here from the other perspective where these bullets are hitting all the way through the Trump office, all the way out to the top of the main stairs. So again, a strong angle to use, so I'd advise you to check it out. So that's it for the video, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this whole series of 50 angles overall. So make sure to check out part 1 if you haven't already. Link will be in the description. And of course, if you want to see something else specific on the channel, make sure to go down into the comment section and let me know, and I will do my best to bring it to you. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I upload my next video. And as always, scan.